Good. So the answer is 0.01304. 0.01304, as you can see on the calculator. Okay, so this is the correct answer. Let's continue. A cyclist covers 900 meters in 5 minutes. A cyclist covers 900 meters in 5 minutes. What is the average speed in kilometers? So first of all, he has asking for average speed. How do you determine the speed of a car or a moving object? Yes, we are going to Kumasi together. I read there in 3 hours. You also read there in 5 hours. Who has speeded most or more? Who has speeded more? It's me. I got there before you. The same journey. So the distance has not changed. So average speed is determined by the distance we all cover. The distance covered. So distance covered over the time taken to cover that distance. Does it make sense? Yeah. As to whether somebody speeded or not is determined by the distance the person has covered, right? Per the time he used to cover that distance. So like I said, I got to Kumasi in 3 hours. You got there in 5 hours. I speeded more. So the time is the factor that will determine whether you speeded more or less. So the more time you spend to cover that distance, the lesser speed you go or you travel. The lesser time you spend, the greater the distance. Because the distance hasn't changed, it's constant. Kumasi. I don't know when there'll be more distance to cover Kumasi. It's the same. I think it's around 275 kilometers or so on the average, yeah. Something like that. So that is it. So average speed from today, you know that is the distance covered over the time taken to determine whether you speeded or not. Hello. So let's go. So he's asking, so average speed recorder. Now watch. He gave the distance in meters and the time in what? Minutes. But he asked for the answer, the average speed in kilometers per hour. What does it mean? When the examiner does that, convert the minute to what? The meters to what? Kilometers. Convert the minute to what? Hour. Then you go. And we know the conversion rate. How many meters make 1 kilometer? That is what you use. So it is also proportion. That same thing is also proportion. So you apply proportion to get proportion cost answer. Interesting, right? So let's do it together. If 1,000 meters equals 1 kilometer, then 900 meters. Am I expecting more or less? 1,000 it is 900. I'm expecting less. So 900 divided by 1,000 times 1 kilometer. This is 900 meters. Meters will cancel meters. Are you aware of that? So that's how normally done. Sometimes done right. But because I'm teaching you to explain, you know that we are comparing like item meter over meter. So what do we have for that? So 900 over 1,000. You can show again those who are not permitted. You can cancel the zero. So I think these 2 zeros will cancel these 2 zeros. And when the zero is down, you move where? Left. So you end up getting what? 0.9 kilometers. But let's try with our calculator. Those who are permitted to use 900 divided by 1,000 times 1. Anything times 1. So you see that produce that, right? So you see that it has provided the answer for you. That's beautiful. All right. Now we are not done. The minute must also be in hour because it's asking for hour. So let's go. Minute to hour. How many minutes make 1 hour? This is what you should know. It's basic. Even my mother knows. She didn't go to school, but she knows. So if what? 60 minutes equals 1 hour, then what does it imply? 5 minutes. Minute to minute is what we are comparing here. You get it? Good. Are you expecting more or less? Less. 5 minutes over 60 minutes. So minute over minute times 1 hour. So what do you have? 5 divided by 60. You know it's the same as the fraction key times 1. This is the answer. 5 over 60. You get this. But how do you write this? Right? Let's use fraction. Press SD. It will give you fraction. So 1 over 12 hours. Take note. This is what we have. Now, let's go. Now we can answer the question. Let's answer it here. Therefore, our average speed is equal to distance. What is the distance converted to kilometers? 0.9 kilometers over 1 over 12 hours. So let's do that justice. So it's a fraction. So I can pick a fraction key. Then I put 0.9 on top. 0.9. 0.9 forward arrow. This is half. 1 over 3. Sorry, 1 over 12. So that's also fraction. So I'll put my fraction key. 1 divided by 12. It gives me 54 over 5. Look at the answers. There's no fraction in the answers. So you press SD to get your answer in decimal. So get 10.8 direct. Interesting. That is it. So simple. So simple. Good. What did we say? If 6x to 64 equals 18 to 32, find the value of x. What do we say? This ratio and proportion is comparison. So we say ratio is another way of what? Writing what? Fraction. Proportion the same. Proportion is also another way of writing fraction. So the moment you see something to something to another, it means you can write it as fraction and solve it. So it means 6x to 64, this is the fraction aspect of it, equal to 18 to what? 32. Remember this equation. So don't waste your time at all. Insert it. Those who are not permitted, you cancel out, and I think you can do that. After that, you cross multiply. Right. So let's go. It's fraction. So fraction 6x, 6 alpha. Pick my x. Forward arrow. It gives me up 64. Forward arrow. Equal sign. 18. Fraction 32. I solve it. Shift solve. The answer is 6. Let's see if the answer is truly what? 6. Let's see the answer. It is 6. Good. Can you see the answer? It's 6. Simple. So anytime you have equation, please use calculator first. So that in case it's paper 2, you can do what? You can work it out. Alright. Kweku can underline it. Anata, so 2 people, formed a company and agreed that their profit will be shared in the ratio 4 to 5. Underline key issues when you are reading mathematics, respectively. Meaning, Kweku is for the 4, Ata is for the what? 5. At the end of the year, so let me write the ratio first. Total ratio. The moment you see that, you write it first. Total ratio is equal to 4 plus what? 5 equal to what? 9 over 9. So you have a total ratio now. At the end of the year, Ata received 5,000 more than Kweku. Thank you. Did you hear that statement? Very key. You look at it. How much profit did the company make in the year? He's asking for the total profit. We'll come to it. But this amount, what did I say? Whenever I give you ratio, percentage, fraction, decimal, and a certain quantity is given to you, ask where does it belong to? And trace it fraction or proportional ratio. So he said Ata received 5,000 more than Kweku. What does it mean? That is the difference between the amount they got each, isn't it? Therefore, let's